And at Kansas Speedway, it is time for action. Welcome everyone to, well, another fun race, but it's not just any other fun race. We have 10 minutes of qualifying, 60 laps of racing around this oval, and we have NASCAR, a highly anticipated event. And loads of drivers have been looking forward to this type of racing. It's a type of racing which I've not really covered in the past, whether it be in the virtual world or real life. The closest I've ever come is doing a Indy 500 on Roblox. That is the closest I've ever come to calling this style of racing, but looking forward to learning along with you as we go along today. As you can see, you're going to get close margins. We've had a few server restarts, so you don't have the full timing boards of what we've seen throughout today, but as you can see, you are going to expect close times on the board, especially in the 10 minutes of qualifying. Racing will be close, and then of course you'll have the drivers slipstreaming and all of that usually does take place. We take a look at Mardu on the circuit as well. A new graphic on screen, as you can see. We have the checkered flag logo, which is near the central screen. That is due to real penalties. So we are using real penalty. That is something I am familiar with. I have used it in the past. So real penalty, of course, just allows us to use a bunch of different things. You can have, of course, drive-thrus, penalties. We can also have rolling starts, etc. So it means that, yeah, this is a great update that we have, and it will be used throughout next season to be able to have stuff like rolling starts and a bit more penalties and all sorts going on in the game, along with safety cars. So I think the main thing, of course, will be the safety cars, and of course the rolling starts, as that's something that we haven't seen in this league so far. So looking forward to that, and of course rolling starts is basically the style of how NASCAR racing is, the 2x2 restarts. So yeah, we're going to be going 2x2 when it comes to the race start. It will be single file stuff when we get to the safety car restart. They've basically had a whole briefing. They've had a whole briefing on what to do, how to do stuff, because it is quite new to a lot of the drivers about what in the world is real penalty, how does it all work, and how does racing on an oval work as well. So you're going to see the 6 red lights come on our screen. Yeah, you're going to see the 6 red lights come on our screen later on today. That won't indicate the race start. Everyone will leave the line normally, kind of like what you see in Formula E. If anyone's watched that, you have the normal grid, then they go to the dummy grid. Of course, in our case, we just keep going for a rolling start, but that's what the drivers will be doing. We are going to leave the line after our normal 6 lights go out, but not attacking, calmly and carefully, we hope at least, and then they'll all be getting into double file, and then it'll be foot to the floor, and we will go racing for what will be 60 laps of action. First of all, though, to set the grid, we have this 10-minute qualifying session. The race will be slightly longer. We have a pit stop, a mandatory pit stop as well, that will be coming into play. All of the drivers have race direction as well taking place. So we have a race director which will be putting the safety car out onto the circuit, and all of the decisions that go behind that. That's Dantis Papen, who we have to also thank for basically not racing, just to make sure that we do get race directing for this as well. We will in the future be looking for a proper race director to be able to have it every week, but of course Dantis Papen, I'm sure, wants to be racing out there on the circuit. So if you would like to be a race director for us, then join our Discord. If you'd like to be a driver for us, join our Discord. And of course, if you just want to be in the server for any open races that happen, then also do join our server. Basically what I'm trying to say is join our server, doesn't matter what you are trying to do. So yeah, to put it into short, basically that's what I'm trying to indicate to you. But it's a server with a lot of activity, so you definitely should. Okay, so lap time's coming on the board. Brandon Bartop is ahead by 300ths of a second, and then it's the 900ths to Jinjuru and to Mardu. Now those are the margins that we are talking about today. It's not the, well, if this was the case with the Renault Clio Cup car, then I would be losing my head. But in NASCAR, around an oval where you're basically foot to the floor, just turning left in this qualifying session, it means that yes, we'll get excited at the business end of it, but the close margins are to be expected, considering they aren't having to navigate a tough configuration of circuit. Well, it is tough to keep it pointing in the right direction sometimes, or well, keep focused rather, in real life definitely, with these machines. Different gravy when it comes to the Indy 500 that takes place as well. But do let us know in the live chat on your thoughts about this race. But you've got Rye at the front of the field by 67 thousandths of a second. Then it's Ilpan and Brandon Bartov, I should say, in second. Then it's Ilpan, Gingeru, Marju, and then we have Ivanikov, Perez, Ronnie. I won't be in the session. Spapen is directing, and that leaves Sergei Morera, who we'll also see on the circuit hopefully very shortly. And also welcome in NATO. Never mind, he's been kicked immediately, so that must be due to him not having the appropriate mods and stuff downloaded. I was quite shocked when I clicked on the briefing video. There was basically, I think, about 12 people who signed up to race, and there was only like 7 clicks. And I'd usually think that, well, some people would have to click on it twice as well sometimes, and might go back to the video. Well, I was one of the people who clicked on it, even though I don't really, well, I always do it for information, but I'm not the one who absolutely needs to know stuff. It's the drivers. So I was a bit surprised when I did see loads of people haven't seen it. So loads of people leaving it last second, leaving it for late, or maybe even not looking at it. But if you don't look at it, then you'll be very confused when it comes to the racing. So that is advice to all of the drivers. Do definitely take a look at any of the briefing or any of the announcements that take place. There's a whole 4-minute video when it comes to the briefing, with visual demonstration as well, to make sure everyone was aware. So it cannot be clearer about how this is going to be handled. So NATO trying to get him, but he of course cannot right now. Marju is ahead by 200ths of a second, so we're just going to quickly update you on the times that are taking place. I've got a new live timing as well. Due to the new server, we have got a new live timing where we have, well, sector times. We have sector times as well. I had this for another league of Gingeru, that's directly behind, also known as Komenets from other rounds, as he goes by, and he'll continue to push on around this oval. Here's Ilpan as well, as he navigates his way through turn number 3, and then you get to turn number 4. Only 4 turns around the circuit, and you're flat to the floor waiting for the line to come to see what effort you managed. This time around it's still P3 for Ilpan, but he'll be looking to attack and push on once again. Plenty of drivers coming over the line at the moment. You've got Ilpan off the road. Will that be a trip back to the pit lane, I wonder, for the driver that currently sits in 3rd on the timing board? He's definitely come to a halt, as we will flick our attention to Rye on his way to win the ACSL championship of our main season here in season 2. That of course has its finale later this week on Saturday. Do join us for that. It's also my final race here at ACSL. But we have, yes, a final with Mardu just trying to with Rye rather trying to take home the crown of that championship. Still not a foregone conclusion. It still can change. There still can be twists when it comes to that championship, so do join us. And even if the championship is going Rye's way, it can all switch. It could all switch last second with the ACSL chaos we have, and also I think it's worth mentioning, the races are just fantastic anyway. We've had some brilliant racing so far. We're looking for some more. We're looking forward to some more today, and a bit of different style of racing as well, which is always very nice to see. So 1 minute and 53 seconds to go on the clock. Marju's extended his advantage at the front of the field. Looking at my sector times, Marju set a personal best in the final sector. That was the fastest sector that we've seen so far. To the first sector, however, still the advantage belongs to Marju. So he's improving even further. It is not an improvement in the second sector. Rai is also improving in the second sector, not in the first, in comparison though to Marju as well. So it's definitely looking quite interesting. So nothing Marju can do that time around. Here is his nearest competitor and rival. He couldn't manage anything. So we're just looking to see as Brandon Bartop has had a moment up against the wall. The wall's super tight around this place, as we would know. So let's see. Is there going to be any drivers who can find the time to displace Marju, who's at the front of the field as it stands, and he's doing so by 65 thousandths when we have 40 seconds to go on the clock, and we very nearly got to the end of this qualifying session. Okay, so Marju's in the pit lane, and we are looking to see whether Rai can manage anything. No, he's going to teleport to the pit lane as well. Ilpan, he won't manage anything from the evidence of his first sectors. Brandon Bartop is down by a couple of seconds as well in the first sector compared to what we've seen so far. Jinjaru is in the pit lane. He was also going well until that moment where we had to come into the pit lane. We're looking at Ronnie. So Ronnie right now managed to get a personal best in the final sector. So not the hyper improvements that we were expecting right at the end to switch up the order. But it's set our grid. That's the most important thing. It's set our grid. So we're just currently seeing Ronnie make his way around. And then we'll be getting ready for the race start. How exciting, everyone. It's gonna be some contest around Kansas. Okay, so that's the end of qualifying. It's Marju ahead of Rai, and then Ilpan, Brandon Bartop, Jinjaru, and then we have Ivanikov, Ronnie, Perez, and Sergey Morero, who'll be starting at the back, and he'll be doing his last to first impression. Doing his best Gabriel Bortoletto impression. And now we wait and we count down to when we can get racing. So we have the countdown procedure underway, and then it will be time for action. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know who is going to take the victory by the end of this race. We have a pit stop, something that we haven't seen so far this season, in the main season or any of the fun races in ACSL so far. So it's completely different for loads of the drivers. They've had a briefing, they've had it all explained to them, and we're getting ready for something different. It's not going to be your lights out and we're racing. It will be coming to the green, kind of like how they do it in America with IndyCar, with NASCAR, which is great to see. I'm going to teleport my way to the pit lane. There's the confirmation that we'll be getting a rolling start. How exciting is this? The nerves will be ticking. Or rather, the clock will be ticking. The nerves will definitely be rising. Unlike the timer. Unlike the clock. This is going to be some race. So keep an eye. We have strategy to deal with. And it's a bit of different style of racing than what we are used to. But it is still always competitive. It is still always fun. This is the view from Rai as we are getting set. We are getting ready for the rolling start procedure. The lights are coming on, but that will just be for them to release the clutch and get going in very slow speed. There we go. Not the usual flat to the floor stuff, but we're gonna go 2 by 2 as we get ready to go racing here at the Kansas Speedway circuit. The great thing is the leaderboard's already updated for us, as we would expect. With how this works, we will be coming up and coming through to the green flags. You can see they're all switching positions. They're all getting prepared. It is time for another fun race. Who's going to take the win? A rolling start procedure here in ACSL. Stand by for action. Here we go. Getting closer. Getting closer. Getting closer. We are very nearly there. It's very nearly time to go racing once again. Stand by for action! NASCAR is green in Kansas! Down through turn number 1 we go! And the entire field attacking as we navigate our way through. And you can see it is getting super tight. Margie trying to contend for second. That will soon become the race lead as we go 3 wide. Throwing it down through the next few couple of corners, and it's Mardu who'll be looking to keep his foot to the floor. It's Y who is your leader as we will send it down. There will be an opportunity coming in. Our leaderboard updates as we go side by side and try to go the long way around is going to be Mardu as we settle in at the early stages. Mardu trying to go the long way around. And we're side by side in the battle for third. So the top 2 breaking clear at this stage, while third downwards also have their own little personal battle at the same time. On board staff with Mardu. You can see the bravery as we ride on board, and it's always great to see when you are inching in front. So you're going to see loads of changes. You're going to see lots of slipstreaming. A lot of it at this stage is all fine. At this stage, oh, big accident, big crash in the background there. That definitely isn't fine. They can go side by side, they can run wheel to wheel. You're going to see loads of tactical games, and you're going to see them switching positions a lot today. But if you are going side by side and you make contact in that way, it means that your race is interrupted. Their safety car is out. And when they were going 3 wide further back, it was always going to be at some point, and it's caught at Brandon Bartop. But, well, yeah, there's the thing. What I was trying to explain to you was you're going to see loads of changes. I know a lot of people may not watch NASCAR in real life, but you're going to see loads of changes. You're going to see lots of position changes. They're going to be going side by side a lot, but it's not like the races that we do here at ACSL. It's not that it all matters so highly. At that time, it's fine. You are going to see them going side by side. It's just the way NASCAR is. I mean, if you put them on an oval, they, of course, have the slipstream. It does go pretty well. That's exactly what happens. So, that's fine. But, however, if they are making contact, that's when it becomes an issue. So if they're making contact, that's when it starts to become an issue. But other than that, you're going to see lots of side by side. It gets really important later on in the race. That's when our energy levels raise up here in the commentary box as well. So it's a different race. It's quite different compared to what you usually have. You're going to constantly see side by side, and if it's another race, we'd be losing our minds of how much they're going side by side. But with NASCAR, it's slightly different. There's a lot more to it. There is a lot more to it than just side by side all the time. But yeah, if it's the last lap and they're going wild, then absolutely. Then it gets really exciting. But we're about to come to the green flags once again here at the Kansas Speedway. Not the 2x2. For the safety cars, we get single file stuff like you would see in Formula 1. The sounds of engines are getting louder. That means that Mardu has put his foot down, and he takes us once again to green here at Kansas Speedway. And it's a good run in the background there. A good run coming in for Ilpan, he was trying to get past Jinju, wasn't able to do so. It's going to be tight stuff as Sergi Moreira, who started at the back, now will look to try and go on the attack. And he is a driver to keep an eye on. He is the driver who will be trying to fight his way through around this circuit, trying to go from the back to the front, and that's not even a contest. He's by the time that he makes his way through turn number 3, heading now through turn number 4, and onto the 6th tour out of 60 so far. But Mardu has got a 5/10 advantage. Jinju, meanwhile, is utterly getting closer towards the second as well, second place, and that could be a position that does change. On board we go to give you a better idea of the speed that they're carrying and the speed that Jinju is closing in with, and then you can tell when he has a chance to make the move, when he has a chance to get by. He's getting closer. Oh, a bit of lag there, a bit of lag coming in, and there was a moment that really nearly caught out Jinju and Rai. Had it been slightly different, that could have been a major moment which could have taken more contenders out. Here we go. So Brandon Barton now 2 laps down. Shutter has joined the race as well. And Jinju to the inside, having a think. But of course, at this stage, loads of things to consider for these drivers as we come across the line once again. On to the 8th tour. The race will go by very quickly, but they do need to make a mandatory pit, so we do need to remember that. So a lot is to happen. Very nearly barging his way through right now is Jinju. But we're going to have to get used to them following at such close intensity. And there will be moments of brinkmanship throughout the 60 laps. We've already had 8 of them, and they're going to flick by as the lap time is about over 30 seconds. As you can see, the lap time's coming in 32.207, set by our race leader by 0.8 of a second, as these two get really close in the battle for second. But you cannot afford to battle too hard where you are losing time, and that can be wobbles at high speed corners where you're having to control the car, because that could mean that Marge is able to break clear. You ideally want to stick with your rival all the way through till the end, and you want to be very close. You basically want to try to be alongside. You need to be as close as Jinju is, basically, because you need to get the slingshot. You need to use the slipstream, or well, I'm going to use an American phrase or American term for that, considering this is a NASCAR race. You got to use the draft to be able to tuck in and make the move on the last lap if you want to take the win or any position that you could be battling for. So slowly by slowly, these guys are losing time to Mardu, who's able to break clear. There are drivers who are more confident than others around this, and that is going to be a moment in the background for Ilpan, surely, who just went straight on and off the road, but he's out of the race. Well, we did see that graphic coming for Bartop, so there is a chance that if Ilpan is able to rejoin, then he will get back in, but he'll be laps down kind of in the way that Brandon Bartop is at the moment. But this is the waiting game at this stage. We're going to say this a lot, but it is the waiting game. You are just going to see them in this format, in this style, tick through laps and laps and laps. And then we're going to get to the crunch point, and that's where a NASCAR race does boil over. And then of course you have the added thing of chaos as well in there. So that's where usually the NASCAR races do get exciting, when it comes to the frenetic moments. But mostly it is the ending that you're looking for. Ryan Jinju this lap both setting personal bests as they try and get closer and closer to Mardu. Interestingly, Rai's personal best this time around was still slower than Mardu as well, even though Mardu was not going any quicker than his personal best. So Mardu, as I mentioned, does seem to have a good understanding about how to take the lines, etc., with all of that coming into play. So you can see that is Ilpan rejoining in the background there. Or apologies, he's not the driver rejoining. That was Brandon Bartop, My live timings are frozen. That's the that's the wrong information I was providing you. Apologies. Apologies for that one. Little moment up here in the commentary box with some technology issues. Apologies, Brandon. Bartop and Ilpan as well, who's still. Well, I think he's back in. He's back in. He's not classified as a retirement anymore, so that's something. That's something at least. Here is Perez. Oh, massive moment at high speed up against the barrier as Perez tries to get past Ronnie. You've also got Ivanikov in there as well. That's right up to the wall. Massive high line for Ronnie coming in there. But that was super tight for Perez. Basically in the wall. Making high contact with it. As we go side by side and around the outside, that will be the move looking to be complete. Still, we're gonna go for it through the corners, and there we go. That's how a position changes around this place as Perez goes through and he moves up. Marge is still a leader by 1 second. You've got Ginger is still in there. So yes, you've got Ginger is still in there as he pushes on by 1.5 tenths off a second. And is that a moment for Ronnie on the circuit, and that will cause the safety car. Ronnie off the road, and he finds himself with a big moment as he is out of the contest there, unless he's able to rejoin in the same way that Bartop was able to. And we go back. We go straight back to some of the single file stuff, and this is an opportunity to regroup. An opportunity to regroup. If your name if your name is Bartop, who's a lap down, he'll look to try get back in. You also had Nathan Sweeney saying he couldn't join as well, so unfortunate that he wasn't able to join us for the race. Lap cars have been given confirmation to overtake, and well, didn't look like they needed it, with Bartop immediately going through as well and passing, as I think they've all learnt by now. It means they're all able to rejoin, and for us to be able to continue with action at Kansas Speedway once they all close back in. There you go, more of the lap cars navigating their way through. That was Brandon Bartop once again. As I'm getting a lot of notifications when it comes to drivers hitting walls. As Ronnie now tries to come back. Lap cars also given the confirmation inside the server that they are allowed to unlap themselves. So that means they can go past this queue of Marju, of Rai, of Jinjiru, and Morera, Ivanikov, Perez as well. That's the queue. No more unlapping allowed. They need to go into single file stuff now. So it's single file stuff that these drivers have to follow when we go back racing, hopefully at the end of this lap. But goodness me, look how much slower a lap is with the safety car there. Everyone's slowing down massively. A 1 minute 51 compared to our 32. That's how much quickly drivers like Bartop and others should be able to gain. But here we go. Coming back to the green flags. Around Kansas Speedway, once again, you are going to now see Mardu versus Rai versus Gingeru, Moreira, Ivanikov and Perez on this restart. Bartop is also in there as well. By the looks of things, Ronnie as well. They find themselves a lap down according to our data that we've got up here in the commentary box. It's Mardu's decision. Last time, he aced it. Will he ace it again? Or will we see Rai get an opportunity? Get an opportunity to take the lead. Could be big if he feels that he's got that slight little disadvantage in terms of pace. Second and third lost a bit of time. So could the strategic call be to try and get yourself into the lead just to be in that position? These drivers will understand how strong the slipstream is and how strong everything's played out this race. What's the position to be in? They are bumping, they're barging in the background. They want to get on with it. They want to go racing once again at Kansas Speedway. And absolutely agreeing to that is Mardu, because he's put his foot down and we're racing once again. Gingeru attacking earlier on for second place, now under threat because he's got Sergi Moreira, who is trying to go for the move. Side by side we go through turn number 2. And Moreira trying to get in there. And it's been, well, some brave attempts so far for Moreira, who's on the inside line. He's seen himself on the outside so many times. This time he's on the inside, and they're very nearly making contact at massive speed. But they will continue on as Moreira trying to find a way to move up to the final spot on the rostrum. As here we go, there's an opportunity. Are we about to go 3 wide, trying to go all the way around the outside, and that is going to be a big opportunity for the lapped cars coming in, as Rai is putting the pressure on for the lead. And as we mentioned, the races do come alive very, very quickly, side by side. Once again we go through. Moreira pushing Gingeru through, and we're very nearly 3 wide once again as the lap cars try and get their way through, as these notifications trying. Well, we're seeing so many contacts. I keep getting spammed with notifications and they're banging wheels everywhere. Side by side for the lead we go. This is the opportunity for Rai to hit the front. Mardu hangs on to it. Moreira's in third. Gingeru doesn't want to give it up. And these drivers, look at this, 3 wide stuff again. Absolutely box office content. We've already mentioned how close these drivers have been running so far. It's getting even closer. Now the race seems to be a little bit more heated. Now it seems to be a little bit more alive. Absolutely incredible stuff. Still we go side by side. And who's going to get in there? Moreira, Gingeru, not a lot of margin. Who's ready for another 3 wide? It's the battle for third. There are more people and more contenders in for play as well. It is so tight. One little misjudgment and it could be a massive moment in this battle, as we see Shutter in there still with these two. This is getting feisty out there. This is what we call racing, and well, the instructions they were given earlier was all they need to do is keep their foot to the floor, turn left and give racing room. I think it's fair to say in this battle they have followed that. Gingeru's gonna come into the pit lane. He no longer wants to be part of that fight. He's gonna come into the pit lane as we go side by side for the lead. Still, it's important to, well, get your car slowed down, or it's a 10-second penalty. So just going to quickly show you how a pit stop procedure will work. Got to hit your marks, don't overdo it. It's the task ahead of Gingeru. Get on the brakes, get it slowed down. There we go. Tires will change. Speed limit will be automatically on for the pit limiter. Everything gets adjusted. Wait for it. And then very shortly, it will be go, go, go for Gingeru. Once again, we just want to show you a little bit of a pit stop of how the procedure works. Here we go. So back out once again. Now the drivers have to keep to the left hand side. So keep to this lane. They are not allowed to rejoin. So wait for it. We're going to be heading back onto a bit of the circuit, but not the proper circuit. You've got to keep to this lane until we're back to straight line. So, Ginger navigating his way through. He'll go through 1, he'll go through 2. And then after turn number 2, on the exit of turn number 2, which is now, straight line, and he can get back out on the circuit. That's how it works. That's the rules that the drivers have to follow. As here we go once again. So, right this time able to stick with Marju. Still, I think we can judge. Overtaking is pretty tricky. I think it is fair to say. So leaving it till the last lap can be a risk. So passing on safety car restarts, passing wherever can be critical. Safety car chances are still in there. Pit stops also can be made as well. You have to pit at least once. They can pit more if they like. But as you would have seen, a pit stop can lose you quite a lot of time. Not always the decision that you want to be making. This is your closest battle on the circuit, and it's the one for the race leaders. We hit half race distance at Kansas Speedway. It is the ACSL fun race here on Tuesday, and we are currently in for what will be, well, quite a few laps of attacking and definitely driving on your mirrors, and also high awareness levels. You could not have a misjudgment if you were going 3 wide. And oh, moment! So that is going to be surely a big moment. Ronnie was off the road. Oh no, we'll need a safety car. We'll need a safety car immediately as Rye drops down. Rye drops down. Morero moves up. Big accident once again as cars go absolutely everywhere. And well, that was always going to happen. Safety car out. So you had a big moment for Ronnie first of all. So Ronnie was the stationary car. Rye made contact with Ronnie. So yeah, what happened there was you had Ronnie, who was the stationary car. Rye hit Ronnie when trying to navigate his way through. As Rye's coming into the pit lane, that's why he's overtaken. Morera is also electing to do the same. In doing so, he's made a late call as Morera, which means that Rye's been able to jump him in the process. Marju is going to continue on. But that's basically what happened there. You had Ronnie round. Rye tried to take avoiding action around the oval. That's pretty hard to do. It meant Morero moved up originally. Not for long though. Morero decided to make the late call. And is that very nearly not coming in. Very nearly not coming in. Stuff there for Rye. As we come into the pit lane. Shut has been given a 5-second penalty for speeding, as you can see on your screen at the moment. As we go in towards the pits. We have, well, a bit of a different race now taking place, where we've seen pit stops coming for quite a few of the drivers, but safety cars can be a good opportunity to make that mandatory pit stop. Considering you can just go back and put your foot down and get back up to this field. But yes, a dramatic moment. That's why the safety car is critical for a race like this. The sooner we have it out, the better, to avoid drivers being unsighted and going into the side. So that's the great thing about this real penalty thing. And also, of course, you'll not only see it here, you'll see it across next season as well. But we will also be, as I already mentioned, we will be looking for someone to actually direct it. Someone needs to work it. Someone needs to make these decisions. These decisions that Dantis Papen is making of directing and deciding where the safety car comes out, deciding when it comes in, managing it all. If you want to be that person to join our Discord, get in touch with Dante. If you want to be a driver, join our Discord. If you just want to be a fan and just be in the server, join our Discord as well. As mentioned earlier, to put it into short, join our Discord no matter what you want to do. Even if you're just a viewer who likes a bit of Saturday night action, who likes a bit of Tuesday night action as well. loads of plans for next season coming in, so make sure you join our Discord to make sure you're a part of the full season when that begins. And I'm absolutely certain that Dante will also be looking for a commentator as well, as the race on Saturday will be my final race here at ACSL, because basically next week everything begins for the Australian Grand Prix. Everything in real life begins again. So my commentary, most of it goes to that. So I've had to limit all of my Assetto Corsa leagues, which were basically 2. One on Saturday with you, and on Tuesday as well, and then one on Sunday. So yes, that's what's happened. Yeah, so that's just a bit of info. So make sure you do join our Discord if you're interested in streaming our races as well from next season. But I'm looking forward to one final race with you come Saturday. So we're about to go back to green flag. Brandon is under investigation for unlapping without permission. As we mentioned, there's official confirmation that has to come for lap cars to overtake. That confirmation did not come, according to the race directing team, or at least that's what they think. That's why it'll be investigated, and then there will be a decision that gets made. But a bit of a different order now, as we get ready to go back to green flag racing, and absolutely immediately into the wall, and that's going to be a big moment in the background, and that's going to be a big moment. Loads of cars absolutely everywhere as we go racing once again. Then, and you have, as it stands, Marju absolutely nailing that restart. We have to say it was really a bit of a clutter behind from second downwards, where they were all over the road. You had lap cars in the way, you had all sorts going on. Here's Brandon Barton battling for position with Rye, but a bit of a messy restart with cars everywhere at this stage. So dramatic stuff then on that restart. Not as dramatic as last restart around though. But we are past half race distance. We're on the 35th tour out of 60. And you got Perez in 3rd, Ryan 4th, Brandon in 5th. Though that's a close group that navigate their way through. And oh! Being tagged into the wall. That's going to be a big moment with loads of cars coming in. So that is going to be from 2nd place. Ivanikov hit around. So yeah, that's a big moment for him to lose out and drop a load of place, and that's exactly what we were. Mentioning. I believe it was Jinju tagged, considering their placing around the circuit. Or yeah, I believe that it was Ginger who tagged, considering their placing. But also could have been, it also could have been Scudder as well. So one of those two making contact there. So I've just looked at who was in between Marjo and Vi at the time. So yeah, one of those two drivers making contact then with Ivanikov, sending him for a spin. Into the pit lane comes Marju. So Marju comes into the pit lane as Rye leads. Bartop under investigation, but in 2nd place. And Moreira is in 3rd. Perez in 4th. Ivanikov in 5th as he looks to recover after that moment where he got tagged round by one of the contenders. As we see, so that's going to be Perez coming into the pit lane. That's why those positions have switched for 4th and 5th. So Ivanikov now goes up a place. But yes, you can see the different pit stops taking place and the different procedures coming in. Every driver has to pit once. That's why Marjo had to come in. But he'll be hoping for another safety car now, considering he's lost out after pitting not in the safety car phase. You had Sergey and Rai both pit when it came to the pit stop phase, when it came to the safety car phase, I should say. And those two were the drivers who were able to capitalize to some degree. Brandon Bartop, as we mentioned, under investigation from the race directing team for unlapping when not told, as Perez disconnects from the session, so that's his race most likely done. As I'll show you a little bit of side by side. That's between Scotto and Rai. Both in different races, both on the same piece of tarmac, however. So you've got Rai with the inside and Scotto with the outside. You've seen a lot of that today. I mean, the 3 wide was involving a car. One of them that was lapped. So around this circuit, you are going to see quite a bit of that taking place, as we once again send it over the line. 40-second lap begins. Your retirements from this race are Ilpad, Roddy and Perez. Your race leader, though, by about 1 second is Rai. And as you can see, he's doing his best. He's doing his best to keep behind Scotto, who is the lapped car, who's enjoying a bit of racing at the front, I am sure. And it is one of the great things. Still have quite a bit of fun. That's the personal best for Scott to set last time around. You can see that he was pushing on, and you can see that he was definitely battling hard. Brandon Bartop will also be arriving on the scene soon to try also make some moves. He'll be hoping to get up in there and do battle at the front of the field with Rai to debate who's going to take the win. And I'm sure it would be a major moment for Brandon Bartop, a driver who's always been up there. Made his debut a few weeks ago here in ACSL, and it's been great to see. It's been great to see all of the driving he's been able to produce, and also a very kind person as well, I have to say. Has been really kind when it's come to my commentary, and yes, very kind, especially last week when he found out that this week would be my last 2 races. So incredibly kind person, Brandon Bartop. And would this be his moment to stand on the top step? As we already know, though, that it's a big moment. Well, for Rai possibly this week, if he can get himself and just navigate his way through, keep it calm, keep it controlled to the championship later this week on Saturday, would definitely mean a lot. When we spoke with him last week, he mentioned, of course, how he won't know how it feels when we ask that question. But the true thing is, until you've done it, you just truly don't understand it. It's just how it works. Until that feeling happens, until that moment happens, for Rai, or if there is a shock and anyone else takes it at the end, until they've done it, there isn't really a way to understand what it actually feels like. When you've done it, you know what it is like. But until that happens, there's no way of guessing how it feels until you've actually done it. And when you've put together a whole campaign and you've waited for that moment to take place, after all of the hard work pays off, it's only really clear in that moment, and it's only really clear to that person how much it feels. I can tell you how great it is in the commentary, but you'll only really understand how much it means to him. And you won't even really understand, but you'll understand to some degree when we speak to him, or speak to whoever at the end. And even then, whatever's going through him is not clear to anyone else. It's a special moment when a driver is able to get to the crown. And it's also special when you are able to take race victories and race wins even like this, where it's basically been loads of tactics, pushing hard. We're on the 49th tour. We are soon coming to the end of this race as the drivers continue navigating their way around. It's 1.8 seconds between first and second. It's a further 1.8 to Sergio Moreira in third. And then Ivanikov in fourth. 16.4 seconds off the pace. As we find ourselves with Brandon Bartop in a battle. So this of course isn't full position, but there's gonna be a spin round. Scotto goes round. He was battling with Scotto, as we mentioned. He was battling with Scotto and he's off the road into the grass. And the safety car is deployed. Well, we were waiting to see whether there would be a safety car or not. The answer is yes, because the safety car completely transforms this race. Everyone bunches back up. It gives an opportunity for a reset. And it means that it's, well, going to be a sprint all the way to the end to see who's going to win this. Everyone's back in contention. It looked like Ryan was going to be able to control it to the end. Unless there was a safety car. The safety car, there was. However, Scotto was battling with Bartop, as we mentioned. Scotto's got a 5-second penalty, but that was the battle going on. Scotto versus Bartop. And they were going side by side for a while, I have to say. So the contact was made. Scotto was the one. The lapped car was off, spinning quite a few times, and Dante made the decision to bring in that safety car. So Bartop is going to come into the pit lane, as you can see, and by the looks of things he'll be joined as well by Ivanikov. As you can see, he's very clearly committing to this part of the circuit, as we look to try and claim who's gonna take glory. Official confirmation at the top of screen that Mardu is able to unlap himself, as some of the pit stops now take place down at pit road. Another term that is definitely used a lot in IndyCar and NASCAR. We're trying to get them all, aren't we? Well, we didn't start our race with boogity 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 let's go racing. We didn't start off race with that, but yes, loads of phrases being used. Here we go. Back onto the circuit. That is not the way to rejoin. So Ivanikov, I don't think. Well, yeah, Ivanikov rejoining there. That's not the way that the drivers have been instructed to. So, unfortunately, I think that might be an investigation. We'll have to see for that. We'll let the stewards do their own thing. Scott is allowed to unlap himself. But yes, drivers have to stick to the lane until they get back to the straight, as I described to you earlier on. So we'll see whether anything happens of that. Would be quite disappointing for Ivanikov, considering he's already been hit, but he's definitely showed his talent, unless he's changed his name. It is the first time that we're seeing him, so great to commentate on him, and he's definitely been a driver that has performed very well. And he'll be looking to be in the fight. As well, for now at least. We'll see what happens later on, but for now he'll absolutely try be in the fight, and we wish him all the best in that. From fourth, so Scott has been given the message that he's not allowed to unlap himself now. They of course have a little time frame. Everyone's already catched back up together, and we're about to go racing once again. Safety cars coming in this lap, so here we go then. The speed massively reduces under the safety car, and then all of a sudden you're back to the 32 seconds lap from doing 1 minute 54s, 1 minute 50s. It's a very sudden switch. And if you are Sergio Moreira, if you are Gingeru, reacting quickly is vital. Sergio Moreira, a driver who's done so well when it has come to fun races. He's been an absolutely rapid master of every single event there's been. He's tried to do a lot of last to firsts as well. Today though, he's trying to do that. He's right now in second. Let's see whether he'll be able to do it. We're on the 53rd lap out of 60, and we're getting ready to go racing once again. Rai, Moreira, Gingeru, Ivanikov, Bartop, Mardu. Scatter is your order. Here we go. About to go to green. Can Sergio Moreira react and keep with Rai Vodka, who is getting all set? It's his decision when he wants to take us back, and we're racing once again. It is a slow restart and into the barrier in the background. For Brandon Bartop as he got tagged round. Rai's got a good restart initially. Ginger is going to put the pressure on. Safety cars out once again. On the 54th lap. And it's the typical NASCAR stuff where we get back going. Cautions breed caution. Safety cars breed safety cars. That's exactly the case. That's what is happening here. So that's exactly what's happened as Rai takes us back. Safety cars coming back in immediately. So that's a very late call for the drivers to react with. Later than what we've seen. Of course, they still can make that decision, of course, at this time. They still have enough time, but some drivers would have thought that they may have got another lap. No, it's all cleared very quickly. Brandon caught back up, so it's all fine. It's all good, and it means that we're getting ready for another restart. We're running out of laps. We don't want to waste time either. We want to give everyone the best chance. So Moreira was under pressure by Gingeru last time around. Rai was able to get away. Can he do so once again? It's once again so tight in the background. They're very nearly coming together. It's an even better restart this time around for Rai, who pushes on as we make our way to racing conditions once again. Laps are running out in this one. 55 out of 60 as Gingeru is going to try and see whether he can go on the charge. Bartol trying to put the pressure on Ivanikov as well, and he's trying to get by. You can also see that you've got Shutter in there. Gingeru is once again the driver on the attack as he tries to pull out of the slipstream. Now it's critical, now it's vital as Rai absolutely nailing that restart to perfection, and it means he's got the advantage that he requires as he tries to tick off the laps to take the win. And what a week this could be, as we mentioned, with the championship with one hand on it for him. That'll be sealed on Saturday. On Tuesday, can he take home the win? Moreira under major pressure from Gingeru. Margie's in there as well. This is going to be a big opportunity as the laps continue to tick. Is Gingeru going to make the move? Vital at this stage if he can do so. Personal best for Moreira. Personal best coming in for Marju. This is going to be important. Can Moreira close in the gap? Can Margie put the pressure on? We are settling the top 4 spots at this stage. And now, here we go. Here's the opportunity. Ginger pulling out of the toe, pulling out of the draft, going for the move, following through, and making contact at massive speed is Mardu, who hits Moreira. Moreira is going to spin around. That will be a big moment. Is everyone going to be able to avoid him? He's on the course right now. He'll continue on going, but that will be disappointment for Moreira, who's going to lose out. And that was a race which he was looking to, and safety car is deployed. The safety car is deployed as he will look to continue on. Massive moment coming in for Moreira as he made contact with Mardu. Ginger got by and moved up to second. Mardu wanted to follow through, and it was contact at that moment between third and fourth as Mardu had a lot of speed carried in through the corner. Moreira has disconnected. He's out of the race, and it means that we're back to what will surely be our final caution of the day, and hopefully we'll be racing. They're basically banging, look at this, bumper to the back for these drivers. This is going to be so important. This is going to be so tight. Who is going to take the race victory. Will it be a one-lap shootout, I wonder? They're coming over the line to what will surely be begin the 59th and penultimate tour of this race, and it is going to be a last lap decider. Well, whatever happens behind, I wonder if they let them race this time. All the way to that checkered flag. Stand back. It's typical NASCAR style. We're getting a last lap decider. Ivanikov and Shutter are being instructed to switch positions. The safety car is coming in, and we are getting ready for a one-lap shootout to decide who is going to take home the race victory. Rye has got the advantage for the moment on the circuit. He has nailed so many restarts. No more cautions. That's confirmed. It's race to the flag. No matter what happens in behind, we are getting ready to go racing once again here at Kansas Speedway. Rye, Gingeru, Mardu, Bartop, Ivan Corey, and Shutter all remain and all look to fight all the way to the end. Shutter's a lap down, so it's really between your top 5 as we look to these battles on the 4 turns of Kansas Speedway. It's gonna go by in a flash. Rye is going to try hang on to the win. How brave, how bold is Ginger feeling? This is going to be so important in terms of who wins this race. This restarts everything. Get ready for the green flags to fly once again for one more lap. 4 turns of high-speed attack. Can Gingeru, or Mardu, or Bartop, or Ivan Corey beat home Rye? Ivanikov is the driver at the back in contention. Shutter is a lap down, but get ready for the green flags. Can Ryan nail another restart? It looks like he's got a good jump. He's got a good jump. That's not the case for Gingeru. Marju's gonna have the chance as we go on to the last lap here at Kansas Speedway and going tight to the wall, trying to go around the outside. It's going to be an opportunity for Marju. Can Marju move in there and make the move as we go side by side, coming right towards the end of the lap? These two both battling hard. This is going to be vital through the next few couple of corners. Here we go. Foot to the floor. There could be an opportunity for Bartop to snatch a podium all the way at the end. But coming over the line, Rye wins the race here at Kansas Speedway. He takes the fun race for NASCAR in ACSL. Gingeru by 26 thousandths of a second will get second. Then it's Mardu who misses out. Bartop is in 4th. Ivanikov's in 5th. And then Scudder is in P6. How about that then? Wild racing all the way to the end. What a week of celebration this could be. The donut party has started earlier for the man who could be called the champion by the end of this week. What a week it could be. Winner of the NASCAR race. Winner of the champion? Who knows? Winner of the championship, rather. Better if we integrated some grammar into this commentary box. Would definitely be the good idea. But yes, what a week it could be for this man. It started off brilliantly, hasn't it? It started off the way he wants to end it. On the top step. Could he grab the championship and victory on top of that later on? It's all well set. Well, how about that, everyone? Okay, everyone disconnects from the servers. Well, just reviewing what the drivers made of that race, everyone. Well, that was interesting. Okay. Well, I would like to congratulate Rai on his victory. Ginger and Mardu join them on the podium. Join our Discord servers here at ACSL. Keep an eye on socials as well, and please join us next on Sunday, when I have my final race, and we look to see whether Rai can also make this week even better by grabbing the championship, and who's going to be our final victor of season number 2. Join our Discord for all of the information regarding season 3. But I'd like to thank everyone who's joined us across this event. It's definitely been really great to watch here at the Kansas Speedway circuit. It's been a different style of racing, but it's definitely been enjoyable. Thank you very much, and we will see you when we complete season 2